All right, folks, no visit to a major ham fest would be complete without stopping by the ICOM booth. So we, of course, did that and spoke with Ray about some of the products they have and some of the projects we're working on. So let's go ahead and see what was going on at the ICOM booth down in Orlando in HamCation 2022.
Alrighty, I'm KY4BDP Brian with the Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, and we've stopped by the ICOM booth, and we've got Ray here at ICOM that's just going to do a brief interview with and talk a little bit about what ICOM is up to. Ray, what are some new things that ICOM is bringing to the show this trip?
Unfortunately, nothing new. The reason why is a combination of both COVID as well as the fire at the AKM factory that has created this semiconductor shortage. I mean, people are like, oh, that can't be a real thing. Oh, I don't want to hear about COVID. Honestly, it has completely disrupted the electronics world. What we've been doing is we've been finding different sources for the chips. But when you find different sources, you have to re-engineer the radios. Once you get them re-engineered, you get them into production, you then have to send them off to get FCC certified.
All over again.
All over again. Right now, we've had to do our marine industry, our marine radios, our aviation, and most of our land mobile product. We have had a couple of radios on the amateur side. The ID52, I guess I could call it new, but we were showing it here 2 years ago as the new thing coming. That particular radio was delayed a full year.
Right.
So it's been pretty crazy.
I can only imagine from a logistical standpoint how frustrating.
One final note.
Well, not only that, but logistics, getting the stuff shipped here in containers, getting a phone call from the freight forwarder going, hey, somebody's offered us 20 grand for the container that you guys have got reserved. We're going to let them have it unless you can pay more.
Right.
So it's just one of the realities that we've seen right now.
Right. Well, makes it hard on everybody, doesn't it? Now, one of the other things we wanted to talk about, Ray, is we have a project coming up with the club, and we're thinking about a remote HF station as a project. And our channel is club-based, so we're going to do a multi-part series on putting together a remote HF station. And we wanted to come by the ICOM booth because I've got some experience with remoting into my 7300, but you've got a lot of models that include the server and some other things on the radio that might be a better choice. So do you mind maybe just giving us a summary of how that might come about?
Well, we've got all kinds of different levels to go from, so as much money as you want us to take, that's great. Our top of the line 7851 over here has a remote base server built into it.
Alrighty, so we're looking at the 7610, right?
Right. 7610 has a server in it. You get all kinds of different functionality of the radio. Pretty much 98% of the radio, including being able to turn it on and off. Then finally, if you want to do VHF and UHF, the 9700. Actually, 2 meter 440, 1.2 gig. Keep forgetting the 1.2 on it. The software interface, there's two parts to it. One part is what you guys would set up for everybody to log in. They would select the server from the server list that they want to connect to. Very simple command to disconnect and connect. So when a user stops using it, they disconnect. New user comes in with the user ID and password that is going to be programmed into the radio.
Okay.
So somebody at the club would set that information up.
Right.
And of course it's going to tell me that it has failed, so let me close out the rig control. And then everything is set up right here. Username, password, make the connection. And what we're doing here is we've got a computer in the back connected to it with a crossover LAN cable. So it is thinking that it is on the internet.
Right.
So all of a sudden we're connected. We can come here to the radio list and select a particular one and look at how everything is configured, and even set up whatever virtual COM port that you want to use. Tells you what your virtual serial port is, and then they give you an idea. I mean, we haven't even pulled up the radio control yet.
Right.
But those are two different receivers, your left and right. The radio's in dual watch. I'm sorry, let me bring that audio down. So what's nice about this and the way it's configured, two things. One is it's a direct connection from the remote computer to the radio. You don't have to communicate back to the mothership, and it's not going to interrupt you going, oh, whether you don't have the latest firmware update or the latest hardware or anything like that. It's just opening up an audio and a communications portal between the radio and your remote computer. At this point, once you've got this connection set up, you can use pretty much any radio control software.
Okay.
So if you don't like the...
So if RSBA1 wasn't, I didn't have that.
Well, you would have to have it to get this part of it.
Okay.
So there's the two parts. You've got the remote utility that sets up your portal to the radio, and then the remote control, which is what we call the RSBA1 control software. So now I can come here and change everything, but the one thing it does not do is it does not do your digital mode demodulation.
Okay.
So if you want to run FT8 remote, the RSBA1 does not do that. But we'll exit here. I can use a software package, WSJTX. I will tell it to look at this COM port, the virtual COM port, as well as the audio settings, and then I would be able to control the radio using WSJTX. But that software doesn't give you logging, so you have to get another logging software. But there again, this is the magic that creates that portal, and you can use whatever you want to at that point.
Okay. Makes sense.
All right. So if you guys are the ones doing the series and the setup, you're going to have fun doing that.
Sounds like it. All righty. Well, for the Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, we had some time here with Ray today. Thanks so much for your time, Ray.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No worries. And we'll see you in the next segment.